let's just cut right into this because this pisses me off when they do this. And Steven Crowder reminded me about why this channel exists. So let's talk about public debate, especially in the wake of, the unaliving of Charlie Kirk and what these ideologues do. So first of all, this conversation is disingenuous, and these people target normal everyday citizens on purpose with racist or other talking points that they know is wrong, but they don't have all the information to dispute. And they will like literally lie, imposture, clip cut, and clip chimp innocent people that are just trying to go about their day. And that's why this is so fucking dishonest. Notice, because remember, Steven Crowder is the same motherfucker that ran from Sam Cedar. But you would go to a random black barbershop with a bunch of normal ass working people and try to debate them about this fake shit black fatigue y'all done came up with overnight. And let's talk about that real quick. The real definition of black fatigue was actually a academic thought process of how white supremacy affects the psyche of black individuals, right? The pressures and the how can I say the ideals foisted upon people by a racially segregated and socially aggressive world. And white supremacists have co-opted that to mean that I consume content of black people committing crimes all day, so now I'm racist and it's black fatigue. So now if I see black criminals, that's everybody's fault in the black community, which is so ironic because when we talk about the things that go on in the white community, even if they were done for the advancement of white people and white purposes, like with neo-Nazi gangs, all of a sudden all that shit is individualized. Oh, that's just that one white person. That's just that one white person. Oh, that guy he was just mentally ill. And it drives me fucking crazy how dishonest and insane these people really the fuck are when it comes to talking about these issues. So without further ado, because I'm not trying to be all night with this, let's get straight into this video. This video is not gonna have, you're not gonna have to wait a week to see it. I'm going to upload it immediately after I'm done. Of course, I'm not going to cover the entire 54 minutes. I just want to get a gist.
Other folks,
they are if they get on a bus.
Not necessarily.
They are if they get on a train.
That lady wasn't in danger because that man was black. That lady was in danger because that man was crazy.
But yeah. So, anyways, my point being is that I'm not going to watch this whole 54-minute video. I'm just going to get into it and see what I can get out of it.
Nope.
Whenever we want to ask for equality and fairness, it's a problem.
So
white America.
So it's been several $1 trillion. When is it enough?
Where's the bird?
No.
Where's the bird?
And we literally see it right here. This is the dishonest clip chimping that I'm talking about, where even if these older black men who are, extremely have a lot of life experience and know how to talk about these issues better than some young people do, they don't actually get their voices heard. They get clipped out of context to feed his narratives with his responses behind the things that he wanted to be heard and the things he want to be said a certain way. So this is some bullshit automatically from the jump.
You're not stopping white America from doing anything. You know what? The bird just burned down $4 billion worth of cities and 60,000 assaults.
No.
That's not how it works, but okay.
3 times to 4 times as much homework.
Reads of the world, or back then the Don Lemons, what they wanted me to believe.
I realized that CNN and MSNBC were full of shit.
And overall, it was a largely warm, productive conversation. I think served it.
Nah, I would rather just get.
Was he said this out of his own mouth. He was like, I'm Indian, but he had on a MAGA hat.
Okay.
And he walked in and was like, hey, I saw you guys on the Crowder. Can I get a cut here? Yeah, I guess so, man. Come on.
Did you have your hand on your piece? You're like, I don't know if you can.
Nah, because he didn't come like that. He didn't have the backpack and the ski mask on. Yeah, he didn't have that on.
Was he nice? Was he good?
It's cool.
Yeah. What do you guys think, like, when you see someone with a MAGA hat? Because I know we were kind of talking about that last time.
It depends on how they present themselves. To me.
Yeah.
For me.
Well, okay, so what?
I mean, yeah, you didn't like that response because if somebody is wearing a "Make America Great Again" in public, if somebody is wearing a "Make America Great Again" hat in public, that means one of the two things: either they're uneducated or they're an active white supremacist. There's only two answers to that. And you can only respond to people how they present themselves. Now, looking at somebody a certain way, or let alone assaulting somebody for wearing some shit, is obviously wrong. But people have the right to jump to conclusions about you because the political paraphernalia that you're wearing.
Like, what would present themselves in a way that would be like decent versus piece of shit?
Yeah, how some people carry that air of superiority.
Yeah.
And if you present that to me, I'm very conscious of that. If you present that to me, I'm gonna respond appropriately.
Yeah.
That's just me personally.
What would be like an air of superiority? Like,
just like certain things you say in conversation, and and like you said, just in the physical nature of these chairs. Well, in conversation, you can physically go up and down and put yourself above or beneath. So when people do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I actually, when I do the change my minds and sit with people, I actually kind of slump my shoulders and deliberately kind of make myself smaller, just to not, it's like, what is it, the crab that has the red under its claws is showing danger? So I don't wear red, because apparently that signifies poison. But yeah, no, there's all these body language experts now, you watching TV, and I'm like, this seems like horse shit. Like, he looks to the left so you can tell he's lying.
Yeah, some of it is horse.
It's like, I saw him on camera, he killed his girlfriend with a butter dish. I don't give a shit what he says.
He took too long to say that answer. He had to think about it. No, he's thinking about what he wants to say.
Yeah.
Okay. Get to some real issues. I'm not trying to be
that idea is a lot of people are offended by different things. And so people get their ass whooped for something they didn't say, right? That's the real thing. I don't know.
Hold up.
Can get your ass whooped.
Yeah.
Like, you free to say what you want. You're just not free from.
Yeah. It also comes with duties.
That's what I was about to say. It also comes with responsibilities, because while we free to speak and say what we want, and I went to Montreal a few months ago, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Bet you saw a lot of tits on signs. That's all it is.
No, I didn't.
It's just strip clubs. Our Times Square is a giant strip club.
It was a couple of them.
Yeah.
But no, like, there is responsibility, and like, everybody's from different places, different backgrounds. Some of us from certain backgrounds know, like, running your mouth too much in a certain space can get your ass whooped.
Yeah.
Like, you free to say what you want. You're just not free from the consequences. Like, the consequences that come with you saying the wrong thing at the wrong time to the wrong person.
Yeah.
And that's where we all have responsibilities in what we say and when we say it.
Yeah. The problem, though, too, and that's, I was kind of talking more domestically, the problem with that idea is a lot of people are offended by different things. And so people get their ass whooped for something they didn't say, right? That's the real thing. I don't know.
I think what Steven Crowder is about to do here is dishonestly reinterpret hateful talking points into being innocent things that people didn't mean. But it's like I said in the Charlie Kirk video, when black people or any other race or any other demographic hears bigoted talking points, we know what they sound like. And we know that bigoted talking points have evolved to sound softer and have evolved to seem like, with a lot of fluff and plausible deniability around them, to make the racist part of the statement plausibly deniable. So, we're smarter than that, and we've moved on from 1950s racism, and it's 2025. We know when somebody is making a racist statement or other bigotry.
If you guys were following the stabbing there on that train in Charlotte, Irina Zarutska. Last time I was asking where you guys thought we were, as far as in the country relation. Like, have you guys heard of the term black fatigue?
Yeah. Let's talk about this type of shit right here. No, actually, I'm gonna talk about it ahead of time. So let's talk about this like in real time. So first of all, here we go with the black fatigue shit. And he brought up the woman that got stabbed on a train by that black man. It was a white woman from Ukraine got stabbed by a black man who had schizophrenia, who was in and out of jail. So let's talk about that. That is not representative of the majority of crimes against white people. Most crimes against white people, 80% of violent crime is committed by another white person. So all the rapes, murders, and all the other shit that happens to white people happens by another white person. We have literal Netflix documentaries of white fathers killing their wife and child and putting them in storage containers and helping the police look for them. So this idea that we see these random tragic events like with I bring up one, Carmelo Anthony, or this woman on a subway train, like that represents a large demographic or a large problem of black people attacking whites. Is fucking ridiculous. America, at the end of the day, and it's the last thing I'm gonna say, is still largely segregated. So you don't see a lot of black on white crime or white on black crime because we live so separately from one another. And things are getting better, you know, things are less segregated, and you have white people living in the inner city sometimes and gentrification and all that. Yeah, that's all good. But it's not high volume enough to the point where it's actually making a real difference in, you know, the crime statistics, you know, when it comes to talking about violent crimes against white people. So that's why I hate this talking point. And that's why this shit has nothing to do with black people.
You guys know what that means?
Since the last time you came, that's become a thing.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's just become a recent thing.
And do you know what it means?
I'm not sure.
I'm going to ask that.
It's a term that's being
I already said what it means at the beginning of this video.
Used by people in the white community, by and large, again, saying they feel like they've been victimized and they're tired of taking that shit.
How?
You know, that was a girl who was dying alone in public.
And I'm not understanding this again because, you know, if I was to exit this video, you can do it yourself. I'm not doing all that. And you Google white on white crime, right? There's nothing being taken here. There was no ideological motivation or racist motivation. He was not no fucking Louis Farrakhan, black Hebrew Israelite. He was not a black socialist who killed a white woman to prove a political point. He was a fucking maniac who killed somebody. It's really as simple as that. And again, looking at actual crime data, you know, specifically referring to white women, the people that are committing crimes against them are white men. So again, this idea that you have black fatigue is not because black people are disproportionately committing crime against white people. It's because you're a racist. And it, you know, and to say that the entire black community is responsible for these isolated incidents of a black person attacking a white person, self-defense or not, makes you the racist. Because you wouldn't like it if I said, I think all white people are neo-Nazi mass murderers. You wouldn't like that shit. You would say, oh, that's individual. Oh, that's those people and those political. Or you might say some bullshit to me like, did you know that that Joe Biden went to Robert Byrd's funeral? Or, oh, did you know that the Democrats did the KKK? You would say some bullshit like that to me if I said that I'm scared that all white people in public are neo-Nazi mass shooters. You wouldn't like that shit. So the same way white people like their crimes and criminality individualized, do the same service for black people. And stop being a fucking racist, Steve. Before I go get Sam.
That was a guy who was let out 14 times. 14 times, including violent crimes in the name of racial justice, right? He didn't have to.
And it's not in the name of racial justice every fucking time somebody gets released from prison. Not to mention the fact there's plenty of white mass murderers and criminals that regularly get let out of prison because they're less likely to face because the worst part about this is how this is fucked up right here, right? This is what's fucking this up. So black people for the same crime are more likely to serve longer sentences anyway. So there's, you know, and that's from the Department of Justice. Even Trump's Department of Justice, I'm sure, will tell you that. So this idea that in the name of racial justice, black people are being let out of prison, even in 2025, is fucking ridiculous. When you have white pedophiles roaming the fucking street, kidnapping y'all own fucking kids. And I hate to go there, but it's just like, when we look at actual data from the Department of Justice, right? When we talk about race and crime and conviction and shit like that, you know, that's what's actually happening. Like, I don't know what the fuck he's on about.
Post bail, he didn't have to appear back in court. This is not the first time he's assaulted someone.
How do we know that was in the interest of racial justice as opposed to just being
because the judge said it,
a fucked up attempt at justice, period.
Yeah.
Like,
where did the judge say that? I need a written statement by the judge, or I need a transcript. I need something for the judge saying that. That judge did not get up on that motherfucking stand and say that they let him out of jail because he was black.
The legal system has its flaws.
Yeah.
And people have been making complaints about that for decades, right? But that's just, to me, that's a mental health thing more than it's a black and white thing.
Because that's fucking ridiculous. Not even that. I wouldn't even give them that because, again, this idea that the prison system and the justice system is going easy on black people is completely disproven by data when it comes to sentencing versus other races for the same crimes.
Well, I'll tell you why, because white people are saying it now.
Right.
Not just white people are saying, hey, we're in
what makes it a bigger thing.
Well, because, you know, white people are 12 times as likely to be killed by a black person than the other way around. I'm just going to shoot you.
And 80% of violent crimes against a white person is by another white person. Like, what is this shit? And I'm not saying that, you know, the reverse is not true, but most, like, no, and that leaves 20%, right? So that means 20% out of 80, right, of violent crime is committed by somebody of another race, possibly a black person. This is fucking, and I hate to say this word, this is retard shit. And people like Steven Crowder, again, they go in environments with these dull-minded ass statistics and this skewed ass worldview because they go directly target and debate people that don't have data in their minds to dispute the bullshit that they're barking out their fucking mouths.
Straight. It's not even close.
Where?
Across the country.
Where?
It doesn't matter. It's not, you know, it's because that's the thing. You're trying to compare. Of course, white people are not, in this day and age at least, attacking black people more. And the reverse is more likely to be true. But that doesn't mean that there's an epidemic of violent crime against whites by blacks. When, again, most violent crime committed against a white person is by a white person. I don't understand how the fuck is this difficult to understand.
Like, not in
the United States. I mean, we're not talking about Ghana.
And like,
yeah.
What I'm saying is, in white communities or in quote unquote so-called white communities,
across the country, the rate is a black man or person.
Dude, this is like literally not relevant when we're discussing violent crime. You know that, like, you have to, if you study crime at all, even if you got a high school diploma or not, if you went to college or not, it doesn't matter. You know crime is based off proximity. So when you have like white meth addicts, you know, selling meth and shit like that, or killing each other, or kidnapping their wives because the wife said that she wanted to go out dancing and like beating her half to death and putting her in the basement, those aren't black. That's not black men doing that. Those are white men committing these fucking offenses and crimes against white women and white children or against one another. Because you have places where it's mostly white, but they still have a lot of violent crime, like West Virginia. This is why in red states, right, they have a large amount of violent crime. These majority white places still have violent crime because white people still at the same rate, especially when you control for the socioeconomic disposition, commit crimes at the same rate. And it's like, I don't understand, like, you know, how hard is like any of this shit to understand, bro. And it's like, you have this dishonest ass mogging where Steven Crowder can't put, it's like he can't walk and chew gum. He can't say black people are more likely to commit crime against a white person, comma, but, or whichever way it goes. I believe it goes like that. Grammar much. 80% of violent crimes against a white person are committed by another white person.
Because most murders men. There are very few female murders. 12 times more likely to kill a white person the other way around. And then you look at the...
That is like completely pointless. Again, bro, like, he gonna keep saying the shit because, like I said, he's being dishonest as hell. And he knows that. And this is why on TikTok, I get kicked off so many fucking panels. Is because when you actually know about the white on white crime statistic, they don't have shit to say.
average amount of times that someone...
And Steven Crowder, of course, went into this fucking barbershop with these people, betting that they didn't know that, betting that they wouldn't pull that out.
...in this country is arrested before they're brought in for killing, charged with murder. Do you know how many times they're arrested on average before they murder? 11 times.
Once again, the justice system's got its flaws, and people have been complaining about that for years. We spend more time trying to fix that than trying to...
I mean, that those 11 arrests are not necessarily violent crimes every time it leads to murder, or this person is participating in like some activity that might lead them to that road. But the problem, you know, even in the backdrop, regardless of what race of the person that's going to jail for murder, our system incentivizes recidivism and bad behavior because we don't have enough programs to actually get people back on their feet and make sure people can make something of themselves. That's the problem, and that's a whole nother conversation. But just know the United States capitalist system incentivizes criminality and taking advantage of others. And Steven Crowder and the rest of these white supremacists ain't ready to have that conversation.
Complain about the white versus black of it all.
Shit. Well, our president is a criminal. Keep that in mind. Our president is a 34-account felon. Our president has a bigger criminal record than most black people. And keep in mind also that most black criminals are a minority of a fucking minority. Most black people are just normal fucking people with no criminal record. And there's even black people with criminal records that never reoffended and went on with their fucking lives or just got caught up in some shit. There's black people arrested and tried for shit that they didn't do, but then they have an arrest record. So this idea, and it's like we can dispute this shit all day, but this is just racism. And again, he's purposely went into an environment where, you know, you have people that are about lifestyle, right? And they like to talk basics, you know. I don't believe in hating anybody. I think black and white people are both cool. We can come to the middle to solve this problem. And Steven Crowder is a hostile bad actor up here misusing statistics. And that shit is driving me crazy to fit his white supremacist narrative.
I think, just like I was trying to listen to all communities last time, I think this is something that's unavoidable. If this community, if enough white people get pissed off, they're going, look, we're living in New York now, we're getting killed in record numbers, or Detroit, 12 times the rate.
They're not. They're not. No white people are getting killed in Detroit. Like, keep your name off of Detroit. I mean, keep your fucking mouth. Keep Detroit's name out of your fucking mouth. Nobody, like, gives a fuck, bro. Like, come on. And it's like, you can't say that black on black crime is a problem, and now black on white crime is a problem, too. Like, and it's like most, like, and it's like, let's be honest too, like most murders, right? If not love interests, are gang violence. So are all these white people in gangs or something? Like, what the fuck is going on? So like, I don't, this is, like I said, it's just stupid racist slop for racist white people to fucking lap up off the fucking floor.
And our system, 3 strikes in California, right? That was a 3-strike policy. The reason that was changed, they said it was racist. Crime went down in black communities 30%. But now people...
Because the 3-strike law was putting people in prison. If your 3rd strike was still in a candy bar, you will go to prison for the rest of your fucking life. They gave you 3 chances to get it right. And you can have, again, a record that makes it harder for you to get a leg up in life. And now that you have a record, you're more, and you can't get a leg up in life because these businesses and jobs are looking at your convictions or whatever, or your criminal record, you're more likely to recidivize. So the 3-strike law was actually causing more crime. It wasn't fixing crime. It was leading to mass incarceration of innocent people for things like possession and petty theft. And that's why they got rid of the 3-strike law. I can imagine in my head, you know, me being a fucking logical person that thinks about things. Sorry.
People looking at their cities going, this is a fucking hellscape. And the murder is skyrocketing because people said in the name of racial justice.
Crime is down everywhere. And this is so fucking racist. Like, he's trying to blame, and you know, he's trying to skew like so many ideas to fit his racist narrative that I don't even have time to dispute all of them. So now, because, you know, people wanted to address sentencing disparities in the name of racial justice, he's trying to pretend like the criminal justice going to not even easier, but going hard, not, you know, instead of super hard and fucking barbaric on criminals, especially black criminals, right? Still going hard on motherfuckers is from super hard or fucking barbaric is causing a rise in crime when crime is down all over the goddamn country. Crime has been declining at a steady rate since the 1990s. So this idea that we're seeing a surge in crime and murder is ridiculous. Now it's never going to be, and it's not zero, but it's definitely significantly lower in big blue cities than it was in previous decades. So this idea that probably because some of the racial injustices were addressed, maybe if you address more of them, the murder rate would drop more. But the point being is that, yeah, this idea that American big cities are these hellscapes of murder, robbery, and gang violence is just, pardon me, redneck stupidity and racism. Because it's not like that living in a city. And it's like you can get robbed anywhere. Like I literally saw like a fucking like a little fucking show a couple years ago. I was watching, you know, ironically with a white woman, and it was a show where this fucking white man, right? He kidnapped these two teenage girls, killed one of them, raped the other, tried to kill her, but she survived. And they were both like 16, 17. So anything can happen to you anywhere. Doesn't fucking matter where you live at. Everywhere is equally dangerous. Everywhere is equally dangerous. So this idea that, you know, big cities are these fucking hellholes is completely untrue. Especially if you actually fucking visit a big city, you'll notice that, you know, it's just nothing but food carts, street music, traffic, and, you know, club scene. And there's even other shit like artsy shit, anime fictions, skate parks. There's all sorts of wonderful things that you can find in the city centers. It's not like, you know, you walk around a downtown area or like even in one of like the more localized neighborhoods and it's people waiting to fucking pounce on you. It's simply not like that, and the data reflects that because as we know, crime all over the country, not just in Los Angeles, is going down. Shit.
Justice, like three felonies, you're out.
Because crime is crime, right? But crime is usually going to be higher concentrated in areas where there's high poverty. So typically the areas that's high poverty in this country are areas with people with this color skin. So that's why you're going to have that. That's why I said those numbers could be skewed and made to manipulate to look like, oh yeah, that's why I said in
not at 12 times the rate. Not at 12 times the rate.
In suburban neighborhoods.
Because again, like the 12 times the rate thing has like, it literally has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with this, like with crime against white people, because white people need to be watching their backs for other fucking white people. You have white neo-Nazis that go on mass shootings and ironically kill all white people. So fuck off, Steve.
Neighborhoods, white people are not in danger, and that's what this kind of fear mongering tells them is that you're in danger because you're 12 times more likely to get killed by a black person. You live in fucking ain't nobody coming after you. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody tripping on you. But these people are just as scared as the other folks.
They are if they get on a bus.
Not necessarily.
They are if they get on a train.
That lady wasn't in danger because that man was black. That lady was in danger because that man was crazy.
Nope.
Like fucking literally. Like if you go to like any crime, like any crime story website, right? And I'm gonna end the video on saying this shit because I'm at 30 minutes at going over this and I want to go ahead and go to sleep. This is gonna be uploaded immediately. So in conclusion, when speaking about this fake black fatigue that white supremacists came up with, especially referring to the stabbing of that woman on that subway, may she rest in peace. That's still in the 12 times or white, you know, it's like that's cool and all. But again, like I'll even Google it to end this. I usually don't bother doing this, but Yeah, right here. FBI data shows that the percentage of white homicide victims killed by white offenders has consistently been around 80% or higher. For example, this is just the AI overview. In 2017, 80% of white homicide victims were killed by white offenders. In 2018, that was 81%. Over the period from 1980 to 2008, it was 84%. So again, what people like Steven Crowder do is they come up with skewed data and half-truths to innocent people trying to have an honest conversation in order to promote their white supremacist worldview. This is why Steven Crowder actively avoids actual intellectuals, because he wouldn't go debate a black social worker. He would not go debate a black lawyer or even like a good liberal black police officer. He would not debate any certain white leftists like Hassan Piker or I don't even know if he liked to debate anymore, or of course Sam Cedar, because he purposely targets people who are trying to actually turn down the temperature and have an honest conversation with his fucking flagrant dishonesty. And that's why, like, this is basically an emergency video I just had to go over. Y'all have a good one.